this is Keddragonwolf here to show you my latest addition to my collection of retro video game systems. It's of course an original Japanese Nintendo Famicom or family computer. Now, I previously did a video on a Famicom clone or Famiclone known as the Arcade Action 2 and mentioned in the video that I wanted to own a real, Famicom system for a long time, but couldn't get one due to it being a rare piece, having to settle with the cheap imitations. Well, they're close enough, if not always perfect. I'm just so happy now that I own one of these. You're probably wondering about how much on eBay I paid for my Famicom machine. Well, I'm not going to say exactly, but I will say it was below the three-figure sum a Famicom normally fetches on eBay, and the postal packaging fee was reasonable too. So let's have a good look at the console itself. The controllers are hardwired along with the output AV cable, so you have to be real careful not to pull on the wires too much because you won't be able to replace them. People consider this a flaw to the Famicom, but one thing that's good about the machine is that it has an eject switch. As with some other consoles that have been released over the years, you have to yank the cartridge out. It has a light gun port for it to play the Japanese Famicom versions of Duck Hunt and Wild Gunman. I don't own a Famicom light gun, but fortunately the light gun that came with my Arcade Action 2 actually works on the Famicom, so that's awesome. Even the Arcade Action game cartridge works too. It plays all the games on the cartridge in NTSC instead of the standard PAL aspect ratio. The games also run a lot faster than that of a PAL system. It plays all my other Famicom cartridges perfectly, so that's great. To finish off this video, I've done a little segment, a brief history on both the Famicom and the NES. So here goes, hope you enjoy. Nintendo's Family Computer, or Famicom, was released in Japan on July 15, 1983. Despite a product recall during its first release due to faulty chips, it was a complete success, selling at the time over 2.5 million units in Japan. Nintendo saw pure potential of spreading the success of the Famicom around the globe, starting with the American market, even though the video game industry in the States crashed. But it was the driving power of the Famicom that would soon turn all that around and secure the future of video gaming forever. In June of 1985, Nintendo unveiled the new redesigned version of the Famicom, retitled as the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short. This was the beginning of something refreshing and different from anything before then. In February of 1986, it was officially released to the American market. With a little help from its US distributor, Mattel, the NES became an even bigger hit than its original incarnation in Japan. In 1987, the NES was released in Europe, and the worldwide distribution of fake knockoffs of both the Famicom and the NES weren't far from becoming a reality. During the late 80s, the NES and the Famicom clones, or Famiclones, began sprouting first in the Asian markets such as Hong Kong, South Korea, Thailand and India. The technology of both the Famicom and the NES were so simple to duplicate and assemble into what has been commonly known to retro gamers as the NES on a chip. Even to this day, Asian electronic manufacturers still create Famicom and NES knockoffs, which seem to be popular to this day to collectors the world over. Both the Famicom and the NES played an important part in gaming history and helped reshape the gaming industry into the multi-billion-dollar powerhouse that it is today, thanks to a lot of great memorable classic games like Super Mario 1, 2 and 3, the Castlevania series, and also some memorable bad games, Double Dragon 3, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and RoboCop. Yeah, that's right, I owned RoboCop and I still have it actually. Although I must say, despite the shitty graphics and god-awful gameplay, I remember as a kid that I actually liked it. I still do. So to me it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. That's all I have to say right now. This is the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.